The most dangerous trend that you see when authoritarians seize control of a previously democratic government is the subversion of the criminal justice system, the police system. Check out what's happening right now at the Department of Justice. Share it with your friends, ding the bell, subscribe to our channel, please, and leave your comments. Written several op-eds over the last year or so laying out Bill Barr's history with the corruption of the George Herbert Walker Bush administration and the Reagan administration that he was essentially an extension of. George Herbert Walker Bush put Bill Barr in as Attorney General. Bill Barr then supervised the cover-up of the Iran-Contra scandal, Reagan's and Bush's Iran-Contra scandal, and also covered up a scandal that was called Iraq-Gate back in the late 1980s, early 1990s, where the Reagan administration was selling weapons of mass destruction illegally to Saddam Hussein. And Saddam Hussein was then using those weapons in his war with Iran, and at the same time we were apparently selling to Iran satellite maps showing the movement of the Iraqi soldiers. Those two countries each lost over 1 million men, or people, mostly men, soldiers in that border conflict that they had that lasted all those years, and we were feeding it from both sides. It was against the law. Congress had passed a law making that illegal, but Bush and Reagan did it anyway, and Bill Barr covered that up. Now you've got Senator Lindsey Graham, just in the last 24 hours. I don't know if it was last night or this morning. I caught it on the news today. No, it was on Sunday. It was on the Sunday shows. Senator Lindsey Graham coming right out and telling, God and everybody that Bill Barr is our Attorney General, our Chief Law Enforcement Officer, is apparently participating in some sort of a extra governmental enterprise. I mean, this is extraordinary. Saying that again, a United States Senator, Lindsey Graham, saying that the Attorney General of the United States is conspiring with a private attorney, Rudy Giuliani, who works on behalf of Donald Trump as an individual, not as the President of the United States. He's not an official lawyer. In fact, Giuliani was being paid by Lev Parnas with money from a Ukrainian or Russian oligarch. So now we've got Giuliani collaborating with the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the United States to try to go after Joe Biden and his son. And it's increasingly not even looking like Joe Biden's going to be the nominee, although, don't count your chickens or don't anti-count your chickens, as the case may be. But, I mean, what are they going to do if it's somebody else? What kind of, is Bill Barr going to be using the FBI to investigate Pete Buttigieg's background? Are they going to be looking into Bernie Sanders? Are they going to be, wiretapping Elizabeth Warren? Are they going to be following Amy Klobuchar around? I mean, I guarantee that operatives of the Lev Parnas, Igor Fruman type, Republican dirty tricksters, like, Chuck Colson back in the day with Ed Muskie, that they're already following these candidates around and doing what they can, but it becomes a whole completely different thing when the Department of Justice gets involved. Of all the agencies in government, when you look at what happens when authoritarianism takes over a government, whether it's extreme authoritarianism like you saw in Germany in the 1930s, somewhat less extreme authoritarianism like you saw in Italy and Spain during the 1930s, a little more moderate authoritarianism like we're seeing right now in Hungary, in Poland, in the Philippines, Bolsonaro trying to pull this off in Brazil. Frankly, even on, arguably on the left, and I put that in quotes because, you see the so-called, Chinese communism combined with authoritarianism, the old Soviet Union. When that happens, the single most common event or characteristic of an authoritarian takeover is that the apparatus of justice, the criminal justice system, the investigative agencies associated with it, the police agencies, charged with enforcing the laws, and the court system are taken over and are turned away from justice and toward the goal of supporting the authoritarian regime. If we value democracy in this republic, if we value the symbols and the values of this country, if we hold those dear, then the most frightening thing that could happen in the United States has to be that our Department of Justice would become the tool, the naked tool of an individual politician or political party. Bill Barr did this before in the 1990s, in 1992. He did it with the Iraq-gate, the weapons of mass destruction scandal during the Reagan administration. He did it with Iran-Contra during the Reagan administration, and he's doing it again. And this is, at least according to Lindsey Graham, he's doing it again. The Justice Department came out and said they didn't deny it. They said a spokeswoman for the Justice Department declined to comment on Mr. Graham's assertion. That's a quote from the New York Times. Now, you would think that they would say, what? Use the court system, the justice system, the criminal law system of our country as a political tool? No, we would never do that. The Attorney General would never do that. That's what they should have said. But that's not what they said. This concerns me tremendously, and it should concern you as well. First they came for the communists, right? I was not a communist, so or the socialists, I guess it was. And then they came for the trade unionists. And, the Pastor Niemöller story. This is grim stuff. First they came for Hunter Biden.